signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo.
Donald Trump just pulled off quite possibly the most gangster move I have ever seen a person in power do. He just authorized Guantanamo Bay to open up to take in these illegals that are getting taken in by ICE. Now, it is important to know that these people that are being detained by ICE are not families. They are not children. These are actually criminals that the last administration turned a blind eye to, that have either committed crimes in our own country here or have committed crimes in the country they came from. These are not good people. And what makes this such a brilliant gangster move is that when you listen to the left, their argument is always, well, they're just seeking asylum, trying to get out of this bad situation where they live, where they fear for their life. Okay, Donald freaking Trump says, we'll just send them to Guantanamo Bay. That will keep them safe. I'm not sending them back to their country. They're going to be in a place where we can take care of them, both medically, feed them, a roof over their head, and we know where they're at. We know where they're at. And it accomplishes getting them off of American soil, where they're walking amongst law-abiding citizens of this country on their own soil. And if by chance they were to escape Guantanamo Bay, they're stuck on an island called Cuba. This is such a brilliant move. And of course, the left is absolutely losing their minds over this. This is what happens when people break the law. Whether you're a citizen or not, you get detained and you get sent to a jail, whether it be city, county, state, federal, whatever. This is what happens. And I've already saw people talking about, oh, these are concentration camps. Shut the fuck up. You're just proving that there's nothing this man can ever do that will satisfy the Karens and the Chads that are known to exist within the Democratic Party. There's nothing that he can ever do to satisfy anybody on the left, because the hatred is such ingrained into them to be against him. A brilliant fucking move. There's no other word that I can think of to explain what he just did.
So the U.S. Marines have arrived at Guantanamo Bay to support the housing of the undocumented immigrants that are being rounded up in this country. And I just want to say, we cannot let this happen. I don't know what we need to do or how we need to go about it, but this right here cannot happen. For one, immigration law is not criminal law. It is civil law. Okay? They are not criminals. It is not a crime. It is a civil law, okay, to be in a country unlawfully. And a lot of these people that you are rounding up are not here necessarily unlawfully. A lot of them are in the process to get citizenship. It takes a long fucking time to do so. But in any case, we cannot let the government take a group of people who they have deemed to be a subordinate class, essentially, in the United States, and hold them in what we created. This Guantanamo Bay should have never even been created. It houses people that have never been tried for a crime. It is legalized kidnapping to a degree, because you're holding people. Why is it in Cuba? It's in Cuba so it doesn't have to deal with the laws of the United States. So they can just hold people indefinitely in this prison concentration camp. We cannot let them take people who are simply in this country seeking a better life, trying to gain citizenship like every other immigrant family that has ever came to this country, especially the white immigrant families that have came to this country. We cannot illegally house them indefinitely in a prison. In a prison. That doesn't even make any sense. We're just going to house them in a prison. No, I don't know. We just can't let this happen. I don't know. Is there any resource? Who do we reach out to? I don't know. But this can't happen. This has to be the line. We cannot let them take people and put them in prison. Not even our prisons where they're allotted our rights. No, a prison on the coast of Cuba where they have no rights, and the United States doesn't have to listen to our laws or our rights. No, man, we can't let that happen.
So yesterday I made a video about the decision by Trump to use the Guantanamo Bay facility to hold illegal aliens. And a lot of people got upset because they're asking why I am concerned when Trump has stated is only for criminals, the worst criminals, the worst of the worst criminals. Here's the thing. Historically, any sort of ethnic extermination program starts with the criminals because that is extremely palatable to normal people. Normal people see that and they say, great, we're putting criminals where they belong. The next thing, though, is for the government to start putting people that have not actually gone through any sort of judicial process, that have not been convicted of a crime, into these facilities. According to the Holocaust Museum, that is the definition of a concentration camp. And with the Laken Riley Act, unfortunately, right now, if you are an illegal alien and you are accused of a crime, not convicted, accused of a crime and arrested, you can now be deported. And under Trump's decision, you can be deported to Gitmo. The very first person that goes there and is not actually convicted of a crime is now turning that facility into a concentration camp / internment camp. Now, I'm not here saying that Trump is Hitler. That I'm not trying to get hyperbolic about that. I am simply stating that the historical precedence for this is beginning. We are really dangerously close to turning into the thing that barely, not even 100 years ago, 80 years ago, our grandparents and great-grandparents fought to stop. And it is extremely concerning to me that nobody seems to care.
So I want to ask you, my first question, is this rhetoric or reality? Immigrants commit more crimes than U.S. citizens.
On a per capita basis?
Rhetoric or reality?
Oh, it is rhetoric.
Okay, thank you so much. The next one, immigrants are just living off the federal government and contribute nothing.
That would be rhetoric.
Okay, thank you so much. My final rhetoric or reality question is, immigrants only enter at the southern border.
Rhetoric.
Okay, right, because they enter all kinds of ways. I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there.
People don't know why the Guantanamo Bay prison is still open. This prison is a U.S. military facility located on the coast of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A few months after the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. detained hundreds of men in Afghanistan and Pakistan. President George W. Bush eventually transferred them to this old naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He claimed that it lay outside of U.S. and international law. The detainees didn't have to be charged with a crime to be imprisoned, and the U.S. could hold them as long as they'd like. Few detainees have been formally charged crimes. However, However, they have suffered torture, and none have received a fair trial. Many have resorted to suicide. When Obama took office in 2009, he promised to close the prison, but faced strong bipartisan opposition in Congress. When Trump became president, he announced the prison would remain open indefinitely. Currently, the prison still holds 30 detainees, including 5 accused 9/11 plotters who have been undergoing trial for over a decade.
Pero que se oiga bien y que se oiga fuerte, las y los mexicanos allá sostienen la economía de los Estados Unidos, en el campo, en los servicios, en todos lados. Estados Unidos no sería lo que es si no fuera por un pueblo trabajador que se vaya a ayudar. Así que van a recibir siempre nuestro apoyo, nuestra solidaridad, y si regresan a México, regresan con nuestros brazos abiertos para darles todo lo que se merecen, porque son generosos, solidarios, como es el pueblo mixteco y todos los pueblos de nuestro país.